Ask yourself that question. If you don't take care of your country, who will? Well, the records that I'm about to share with you are, we talked about our debt. Do you realize our sovereign debt has been downgraded? That's the first time in American history. What does that mean? It means that now our credit rating has really dropped. It's like saying, okay, we used to have a 750 rating, now we have a 650 rating if you're going for a mortgage. So now the interest rate that you're going to be required to pay is higher because you have been deemed to be a high risk. Why has America been deemed to be a high risk? Because we have too much debt. Because our economy is weak. Because our unemployment, because of our policies. Need I go on? We have to face the facts. It is time to get involved. It is time to address the issues. Another issue is federal spending. Federal spending is at 25% of GDP. 25%, 1/4, highest since World War II. So can you imagine? What else is there to say? I watch television once in a blue moon, but when I do watch TV, some of these shows, what they're saying is unbelievable. I can't believe that they think that America is so uneducated. To me, it's disrespectful. But to realize that federal spending is at 25% of our gross product, it's just unbelievable. And it continues to grow. Like I said, if it continues to grow, pretty soon it'll be 50%. So 50% of 12 months will be 6 months. So you'll be working 6 months out of the year just to meet the interest obligations on our debt. All right, let's keep going. Deficit. Our deficit is 10% of GDP. 10%. Again, the highest since World War II. Federal debt, 67% of GDP. This is all compared to our GDP. And again, it has never been as bad as it is now since World War II. And obviously that was a special situation. Employment. Let me go back and tell you that 58.1% of population is working today. Only 58.1% is working. So out of those 58.1%, do you realize that close to 50% of the people, or 49% of the people that are working don't pay income taxes? For one reason or another? That tells us the tax code is broken. That 30,000 page plus document that has evolved over the last 35, 40 years, which is absolute malarkey, okay? Cannot continue. We gotta stop the process. We gotta have term limits in Congress. We gotta change the code. It has to be a flat tax, a fair tax. Everybody has to have skin in the game. We cannot have 58% of the population working, and basically out of the 58%, only half of those really are paying U.S. income tax. Another thing, what does that tell you? If 58% are working, what's the other 42% doing? Does anybody care to take a guess? Well, they're not employed. Either it could be that they're retired, or it could be children, but the majority of the population today, a large majority of the population today, is baby boomers. And baby boomers represent a significant percentage of that 42%, and most of them are also unemployed. So these are some of the problems. Let me go to a couple more. Long-term unemployment, highest since 1930. 1930. So, that was before I was born, believe it or not. But it's unbelievable that we have such problems, structural problems in our economy. This has been also the slowest net job growth rate ever. During the last 4 years, our net job growth is the lowest ever. In fact, Less people are working today than when Obama took office almost 4 years ago. So don't let anybody tell you that Obama's administration is creating jobs. It's baloney. You know, statistics, they can't be relied upon. You can maneuver numbers to basically represent just about anything you want. What you have to do is get to the bottom and develop some, you know, you hear so many sources telling you so many things. I'm asking you to not believe me. Don't believe me. Believe yourself. Go back and do the research. Go back and find out. Check federal government information. They'll give you the status. They'll give you the information that you need. But the SLOB, this is the slowest job growth that we've had, and you know, it's just awful. Another point is home ownership. You know, one of the largest industries in this country has been on its knees for 4 years. I think now it's on its back. Forget about being on its knees. I think that it's flat on its back because there's just no way to get financing for a mortgage today. You know, I have I'll use myself as an example. I just tried to refinance a property that I have. I couldn't get financing. You know, obviously I couldn't get financing, not because my credit rating was not good, but because the value of the asset, the supposedly value of the asset that I'm trying to refinance is, according to the appraiser, substantially less, and therefore doesn't meet the loan to value ratio. Well, you couldn't build today that property for the value that it was appraised at. The cost of construction today would be, if you were to duplicate that property today on an identical lot, would be twice what it was appraised for. But the appraisers, that doesn't mean anything. So what is this telling you? Nobody wants to take responsibility. Nobody wants to take the risk. What's happening is the economy, the real estate industry is on its knees. On its back. And it's not going to get off its back until some very, very significant policy changes are made. You know, this market has to change so that new construction workers can go to work, so new families can, you know, obtain the American dream to get the house that they want, to obtain financing. Things have to return to normal. And the only way they're going to return is if the economy returns. Because if you don't have a job, you can't buy a house. So everything is connected. It's like a domino principle. You know, you click the first domino and it all rolls down. Well, you keep hearing this misinformation on most TV stations today, and it just basically begs the question, what is America doing? Are we asleep at the wheel? Are we not going to protect our country? Are we not going to vote? Are we not going to study, research, and find out the truth? We must. Freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. It costs us time and money. So I ask you to please, get involved. We're going to take a slight break right now. I want you to call in, please. Our telephone number is 386-362-6525. Again, 786-362-6525. We love to hear from you.